Welcome to the Radiology Vault, an open repository for radiology educational content designed for learners and medical professionals. Presented by the Michigan Medicine Department of Radiology.
Hi, my name is Anum, and today I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of hepatic malignancy and the different types of tumor that can, mostly primary liver tumors that can be present. So without further delay, let's get started. I have no relevant disclosures. Brief introduction of HCC, which is the most common type of primary liver malignancy and one of the only cancers for which both incidence and mortality is rising. In the US, there has been increasing incidence of HCC because of obesity and non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, which has recently been named as metabolic dysfunction-associated steatohepatitis. And non-invasive imaging is essential for all parts of HCC management, including screening, surveillance, diagnosis, staging, and treatment response assessment. And biopsy is important for certain tumors with atypical features and for guiding treatment response assessment. Now, the classic features of HCC are largely driven by the underlying pathological behavior. So we have, you can see here, HCC has arterial phase hyperenhancement, which is caused by neoangiogenesis or leading to AFI. We have portal venous washout, which is because of relative lack of portal tracts, which causes a washout or hypoenhancing appearance on the portal venous phase, and a fibrous capsule, which enhances on the delayed phase imaging. Now, taking all these three factors into account, according to the LI-RADS Diagnostic Algorithm version 2018, this would be categorized as LR5. There are additional features that we will be going over briefly. A brief overview on the LI-RADS. It's a comprehensive system for standardizing their terminology, technique, interpretation, reporting, and data collection on liver imaging, consistent with the AASLD and NCCN guidelines. The management recommendations are based on the diagnostic category assignment, which is dictated by the observation with the highest probability of malignancy. Now, just going over a brief introduction about the major features. So you can see here, arterial phase hyperenhancement forms the core. If there is no arterial phase hyperenhancement, a maximum that observation can be categorized as an LR4, which will still fall into the category of needing a biopsy. Only an observation that has an arterial phase hyperenhancement with the size and either one or two of the additional major features, which is capsule, non-peripheral washout, and threshold growth, then it can fall into the LR5 bucket. Now, I would like to draw specific attention to this part of the box where an observation that has arterial phase hyperenhancement with either washout or threshold growth will be categorized as LR5 if it's between the 10 to 19 millimeter. However, if it has arterial phase hyperenhancement this size with capsule, it will still remain as an LR4. And an observation which is greater than 20 millimeters but has only one major features, which is an LR4, will be, which is arterial phase hyperenhancement, will be an LR4. Now, if it has more than one feature, then it will be classified as an LR5. There are some additional ancillary features which we are not going to be talking about in detail, but will be covered in this case-based lecture. So you can see here that it's a step-by-step algorithm where if the image quality is degraded, it will be called an LRNC. Now, if there is tumor in vein, we will categorize as such. If the lesions are certainly or definitely benign, including cyst or hemangioma or perfusions, these will be called LR1, LR2. Now, if an observation has a targetoid appearance and does not conform to the features of LR3 to LR5, but looks suspicious and malignant concerning, this will be categorized as an LRM. And you can see from LR3 to LR5, you have high increasing probability of HCC. So now just talking about briefly about what LRM is, it's either a targetoid mass or non-targetoid mass with either infiltrative appearance or marked diffusion restriction or necrosis or other features that in radiologist judgment suggest non-HCC malignancy. This does not meet the criteria for LR5 and there is no tumor in vein. Moving on to some case-based examples here. Here we have a 59-year-old female with HCV cirrhosis. You can see here on the out-of-phase imaging, this lesion has loss of signal, which is intracellular lipid in it. And on diffusion, there is no restricted diffusion. It looks dark on our T2 phase imaging, and on our pre, it is dark, and there is no arterial phase hyperenhancement within this observation. So now I'm not covering the ancillary features, but based on the ancillary features, this was categorized as an LR3 observation. Went on into the wait and watch pool 3 months later. You can see this has largely increased in size. There it has developed some peripheral arterial phase hyperenhancement, no washout here because the entire lesion still is not enhancing on arterial phase. This was just based on this particular appearance of arterial phase imaging. This was categorized now as LR4 and was biopsied. It was a difficult biopsy, as you can see, because it was abutting the IVC here. And this turned out to be an HCC. Here we have another observation with 56-year-old male with HCV cirrhosis. You can see there is arterial phase hyperenhancement, no significant washout here. So based on the LR category, this was categorized as an LR4, went for biopsy and turned out to be a moderately differentiated HCC. Here we have another observation. This is a person with alcoholic cirrhosis, had ill-defined signal on T2 weighted sequence with arterial phase hyperenhancement at the periphery with some area central washout here based on the arterial phase imaging qualified as rim arterial phase hyperenhancement. This was called a targetoid lesion as LRM and was biopsy turned out to be a well-differentiated HCC. Now we know that HCC should look like LR5. There are few that can look like LRM and which forms 36% of the HCC bucket. So you can see 36% of LRM will be HCC and majority of these will be malignant. Here we have another observation in a cirrhotic liver. You can see there is some ill-defined infiltrative areas of arterial phase hyperenhancement. Central region is not enhancing. Some signal on portal venous phase, no definite washout here. Delayed phase, there is some increasing washout now. Has ill-defined T2 signal and diffusion weighted signal. This was called an LR5 by the person who read it and went to our multidisciplinary tumor board, where based on the ill-defined nature was called an LRM and went for biopsy and turned out to be a cholangiocarcinoma. Now we know that intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma can be misdiagnosed as LR5 HCC in 4 to 8% of cases. So we have to be very careful when we're classifying tumors and want to make sure that we classify them accurately. Here we have a 58-year-old female with HCV cirrhosis. We have a caudate lobe observation with arterial phase hyperenhancement, washouts and part capsule. This person went for treatment without for transplant without treatment, and extra explant pathology revealed intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma. Here we have another observation with arterial phase hyperenhancement, washout, and explant revealed intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma. Now I want to draw your attention to the ill-defined margins on the arterial phase imaging and the infiltrative appearance on the washout phase. So when we saw in our original example of an LR5 HCC where we had a well-circumscribed rim of non-rim arterial phase hyperenhancement, washout, and a capsule. This one has an infiltrative washout appearance and no capsule here. So we want to be very mindful and careful when we're categorizing these observations. Here we have a 71-year-old with alcoholic cirrhosis. You can see we have large areas of ill-defined heterogeneous arterial phase hyperenhancement. On our T2 phase, you can see there is moderate T2 weighted hyperintensity. However, on our portal venous phase, there's areas that are still retaining contrast in our hyperenhancement, but that there's tubular infiltrative appearance of hypoenhancing signal. So this is a classic characteristic of diffuse infiltrative HCC with tumor in vein. Here I have another 55-year-old. You can see there is a large infiltrative mass sitting in right hepatic lobe, which is invading into the portal venous phase. And you can see here on our T2 weighted signal, this has an expansile appearance. So in cases where we are concerned about infiltrative tumor in vein, I would a T2 weighted sequence comes in is very handy, and you can clearly see that there is absence of the flow void here. So this was an outside study that was referred to us. It was called HCC. They said it was possibly the invasion of the portal vein, and they recommended a 3-phase liver CT, which was not needed. They also put in some additional etiologies, but in this case, should not have been the case. This is a classic imaging case of infiltrative mass with tumor in vein. Here we have another 63-year-old male with HCV cirrhosis, had elevated alkaline phosphatase. You can see here we have a large mass with rim arterial phase hyperenhancement. There is some central necrosis here, as you can see on the T2 weighted FATSAT sequence. On the portal venous phase, there is a capsule. However, you can see there are central areas that are persistently enhancing. So it doesn't really wash out. The central areas of necrosis, however, persist. So based on these features, we called it an LR-M, and this was biopsied and turned out to be a sarcomatoid type of HCC. Here we have another lesion in a person with cirrhosis. You can see here there's a small lesion with arterial phase hyperenhancement, marked restrictor diffusion. This is our T2 weighted sequence. There is some ill-defined nodular area of signal abnormality. So based on this characteristics, this was called a 1.1 centimeter LR4. 6 months later, and you can see this is enlarging. There is a rim arterial phase hyperenhancement. This is developing washout. At this point, we called it an LRM, and this was biopsied and turned out to be a combined HCC-cholangiocarcinoma, which is a biphenotypic tumor. Here I have another example. We have a 74-year-old male with HCV cirrhosis. You can see this is non-rim arterial phase hyperenhancement. There is no washout. There is T2 signal. So this was called an LR4. LR4 observations fall into the bucket of biopsy. This was biopsied and turned out to be a combined HCC and cholangiocarcinoma. So now biphenotypic tumors, these are can be large irregular tumors. They can have classic LR5 features, but will also have both elevated AFP and CA19-9. As you can see here, this tumor has arterial phase hyperenhancement. There is washout, but no well-circumscribed capsule. There is ill-defined margins. This tumor had both elevated AFP and CA19-9, which is why I went for biopsy and turned out to be a biphenotypic tumor. So now combined HCC cholangio, these are distinct entity. The most common arterial phase enhancement patterns can be variable. You can have peripheral enhancement in up to 100% of cases. You can have non-peripheral enhancement into 50% of cases. You can have washout appearance, capsular appearance, so which is to a lesser degree. But one thing that is important for you to understand is a combined biphenotypic tumor with features of LR4, LR5 carries better prognosis than the predominant LRM, which is cholangiocarcinoma features. Here we have this was a sad case. history of NASH and colon cancer presented with liver mass. So this, you can see here, there is a large area of arterial phase hyperenhancement with washout. There is T2 signal and diffusion restriction here. Now, this was initially when this was read 6 months earlier, was read as no metastatic disease, diffuse hepatic steatosis, and this area that was developing was not talked about. 6 months later, on this exam, you can see here, they said there was enlargement of the hypervascular mass, which was causing some biliary obstruction that I'm not showing, and it was also growing into the portal vein here. You can see that they said this imaging is non-specific but could represent a cholangio, less likely colorectal metastasis. At this point, given this impression, this patient went for biopsy and this turned out to be a moderately differential HCC. One needs to know that cholangiocarcinoma does not cause tumor in vein, and that would be a infiltrative HCC. Okay, here we have another case, 67-year-old Hep C related cirrhosis. We have a liver lesion found on ultrasound surveillance back in 2016. You can see there is undefined area of peripheral signal, which persists and increases on portal venous phase. There is some mild T2 weighted hyperintensity, subtle diffusion. You can see that we had an MRI from 2014 where this observation showed similar signal characteristics on T2 weighted sequence. Based on this temporal stability, this was classified as atypical sclerosed hemangioma, provided that even the initial observation did not have the classic T2 light bulb bright sign, but just based on this 2 years of stability, it went down this road. Now, this patient still underwent surveillance imaging because of the history of underlying cirrhosis. 3 years later, you can see here we have an enlarging region with peripheral arterial phase hyperenhancement that progressively increases. We have some T2 signal and then increasing diffusion signal. So now at this point, the diagnosis changed to LR-M and turned out to be a biopsy-proven intrahepatic cholangiocarcinoma. Now, the teaching point here is that an observation should not be called atypical sclerosed hemangioma until you have temporal stability with previous observation showing classic imaging features of a hemangioma, because this is a great mimicker of a cholangiocarcinoma. And if you are uncertain, biopsy is the key to diagnosis. Here we have another observation, which is an incidental hepatic mass, which needed further characterization. This person does not have any history of cirrhosis. You can see here, this is mildly hyperintense on T2 weighted signals, hypointense on pre, and there is no definite enhancement that increases. There is a peripheral line of enhancement that we can see on delayed phase imaging. This was biopsied and turned out to be a sclerosed hemangioma. And we have also hemangioma in the segment 7 abutting the IVC here. So in conclusion, HCC is the most common primary liver malignancy. Imaging is important and helps in diagnosis with classic imaging features. They need to follow the major features of LI-RADS diagnostic algorithm, including arterial phase hyperenhancement, washout, and capsule. The diagnostic algorithm is a comprehensive guide for categorizing liver lesions in at-risk population. LR-M, that is biopsied and turns out to be a biphenotypic tumor. It's a distinct entity with variable imaging appearances, and you consider biopsy always for unusual appearance of liver tumors. Thank you.